police as well. I thought I was going to put in prison when I come back. And I didn't come back. When I come back, I didn't get put in jail. The police turned around and said, there's no evidence on your drug charges, cannabis charge. There's no evidence. You're free to go. And let me go. And I was able to watch my daughter be born. However, trolls rang the hospital. Those who don't know, I'll just tell you briefly before we speak about. I was watching my daughter be born. They were born on the 15th of August this year, last month, 2 months ago. Trolls online found out that my daughters were being born. And do you know what they done? On the 16th of August, they rang the hospital and made a lie up, saying Sam Walker has firearms and there's going to be a shootout in the hospital. And all armed police have come running in when I'm holding my babies and took me away from my babies. Only for 4 hours. But you know, it was the worst time I ever had. No way they phoned the hospital. They did it. It's all over the news. You just Google Sam Walker hospital armed police. They rang the hospital, made lies up. Now, what happened is I found out too. What the police let me go. The police were so respectful. Like, they were just doing the job. I couldn't blame the police for it because they just had information that someone had a firearm. There's going to be a shootout. It wasn't true. They realised it was lies, and then they let me go. But it was a really difficult 4 hours for me because I was feeling real pain because I'd just watched my daughter be born. I was with them in the hospital still, and then I found out who it was. So I just sent a message to him saying, tell him that his karma's going to come soon. Do you know what he done? He rang the police and said, Sam Walker's just threatened to kill me. That's what he said. And I was literally put in the cells from Friday to Monday because they said I threatened to kill him. And I went to court and the judge turned around and said, there's no evidence against him on a threat to kill. Where's the threat to kill? And the prosecution didn't even know where the threat was. They went, he said your karma's coming soon, so we're going to say that's a threat to kill. We'd like him remanded into custody. The judge went, I'm not remanding him into custody. There's no threat to kill. I'm giving him bail. And they let me go. The judge let me go, so I respect the judge for that because there was no threat to kill there. And then I said to the judge, though, this man rang the hospital and lied and said I had a firearm. All I said to him was your karma's coming soon. That could mean anything. Anyway, they literally just let me go. But as I said, what I do is online, I get a lot of haters who just come and just, like, I get loads of little weird haters online because you don't like to see you do great stuff. So, moving forwards, once I get my operation on my skull here, to get my skull put back in because there's none here, I've just got to get another operation on my arm, on the bullet wound, because it's shattered the bone in this finger, so this finger doesn't bend past there. This does, the bottom, them three do. Just that top one doesn't look, if you see it's bent. It doesn't bend, that doesn't bend. So I just need to get another operation on here. That's it. I know they can all do one. Yeah, the freaks like. But what happens is, once I get my operation in January, I'm going to get my operation in January. I should have had it now, but I'm going to wait till January, till after I've had Christmas with my babies, and then get my operation. And then, but the reason why I'm not doing it now is because I want to read. I like to read. I educate myself on exactly what it is. Did this sort of stuff to do with corrupt charities and revolutions. I'm studying how revolutions work. That's what I'm studying. And this is why I say about some things happen in life where the worst thing can happen to you, but in order for in order for you to do greatness, you need to face your worst challenges, your hardest challenges in life. And mine is, at the moment, getting this operation done. And people will know who remember when I come off the hospital, I was a different person. I couldn't talk properly when I come out of my coma. And I'm literally just getting myself better and stronger. Because when I go back to Africa, I've saved thousands of lives, cancer treatment for children, operations for when they've been blind, fresh water installed, roads built. We've achieved so much. But my focus going back to Africa in a few months' time is the movement, the people's revolution against corrupt charities. So what I'm looking to do, my plan is because this is not so when you talk about revolutions, a revolution is not what I've done here. That's a protest. people try and put that into the bracket of a revolution. It's not anywhere near a revolution. This is just protests in Africa, and people small like people who want to like big themselves up would say, yeah, it's the start of a revolution. It's not. It's a protest. Multiple protests. Doesn't matter. That is not the definition of a revolution. What the definition of a revolution is when you have hundreds of thousands of people standing against a certain thing, which is for our problem, it's corrupt charities. So my plan is over the next few months when I go back to Africa, is I'm going to go to different African countries, all these countries in Sierra Leone. Yes, Nanny, hope you will. All these countries in Sierra Leone, these third world countries, I'm going to go to them where these people live in the slum areas. I'm going to start spreading the TPR movement. I'm going to arrange for mass protests to be made on the exact same day at the exact same time right across Africa. All these African countries, Freetown, Sierra Leone, the whole of Sierra Leone, I'm going to arrange for all mass protests for the exact same day, the same time, and every single place to screen record, so to live stream what's going on. So what's going to happen then when this is the definition of a true revolution in the 21st century. The definition of a true revolution is when you have hundreds of thousands of people coming out of slum areas and mass protesting peacefully, and the only thing they're going to be asking is, where's our money? That's the only thing they're going to be saying. They're not going to be aggressive. Every single country is going to be saying, where's our money? There's nothing else going to be getting said besides for where's our money. And do you know what's going to happen? That's going to go viral worldwide. So many videos getting live streamed all over the world. People will be like, what's going on here in Africa? Newspapers are going to have to publish it. Slum people, thousands of them, hundreds of thousands are coming out of slum areas asking these charities, where's our money? That's what you call the start of a revolution. That's a true start of a revolution. And the only way that that's going to happen is if it just takes someone to believe in what they're doing, even when other people think it can't be done. But you got to understand, when people used to say Sam Walker can't install fresh water into slum areas, with the TPR, the movement which I've got, we showed that it could be done. When these people were saying it couldn't be done, I showed it could. When I'm telling people there will be a revolution against corrupt charities, people who don't believe it, you will soon see that there's going to be a revolution with hundreds of thousands of people coming out of slum areas. We will be jailed. There will be people who are killed. That's a fact. I already see it in my mind. I can see what's happened. I can see it. It's clear as day in my mind. I know what will happen. There will be mass protests right across Africa, peaceful protests asking for where's our money. But what is going to happen is these police and these charities are going to be killing innocent African people who are coming out of the slum areas of protest asking for their money. Now, people will say, why are you going to do mass protests knowing that these people are going to be killed? That's what they're going to say. But you've got to understand this. I'm not doing a protest on the basis that I'm sitting miles away, not even in the country. If I'm doing protests, I'm going to be right at the very front of it, right to the very front of any revolution. So if bullets are being fired, I'm going to be there in the exact same spot as the people at the front who are also taking bullets. But they will not target me. They will avoid me for the simple fact is my skin is whiter. That is just the sad truth. Right? They'll put me in jail. That is where I will be back in African prison. But it'll be too late by then for the government to turn back what's just starting, which is a revolution. It'll be far too late for them to stop it. Because what's going to happen is they will kill innocent people to try and scare everyone. But if you've got hundreds of thousands of people coming out to protest and you kill 500 people, that's a very minimal amount. But what that is the greatest death that any man can suffer. I promise you. And I would even put myself in that same bracket as if I was to die during that would be I couldn't die a greater death than that. There's not a greater death on earth than I could die than in the process of a revolution against corrupt charities, and if they gunned me down. That would be the best death I could ever suffer. What? I could walk along the street and get run over here in England. Is that a good death? But that could happen. I could be in a car crash and die. That's not a death to be proud of. Trying to save someone's lives or people's lives and start a revolution, to die during the process of that is the biggest and proudest death that any man can have. It really is. I don't want to die, but at the same time, I'm willing to for our revolution, and that is it. And I promise you that's how it works. But I don't believe that my death will come anytime soon. Only the reason why I know that's not going to happen is because my head injuries and my bullet wounds, and everything else. This sort of stuff is what is going to be is what's going to save me, in the sense of the universe has allowed me to live. It's looked at me and thought, we're sending you back to England to be with your children for the next year. And while we're doing that, you're going to educate yourself on what a true revolution really is and how they work. Because I would not be working, studying now if I was still in Spain. I lived in Spain for all this year. And Africa, I was in the year, like last year. I would not be studying revolutions. But this is what I do every day now. I study revolutions on how they work. Martin Luther King, all these people that have started revolutions. I don't put myself in their category at all. I never would, because they're a completely different league. But these are people that I'm learning from on how revolutions work. That's what you've got to do in order to have change. But here's where people, when I say about TPR, you'll see people with TPR in the name, right? What you don't understand is, if you want to become part of TPR on TikTok, all you do is put TPR at the end of your name. But the thing is, you've got to remember this: the people online are going to have so much power. You don't understand how much power you're going to have next year, in a few months' time, when I go back to Africa. The reason why I say that is this: the way the people are victims of theft, these people in the slums because of corrupt charities, yous are also victims of theft, because these charities have also stolen from you. You've donated this money to the people in the slums, but it's not the people in the slums that are receiving this money. So that means that yous are also victims, and that gives you and these people in the slums a connection like no other. A connection what they didn't even know they had, and yous didn't know yous had, because yous are both victims of theft, because the charities are stealing the money that you've donated and they're not giving it to the people in the slums, so they're stealing that money from them, which makes yous connected in a way that yous don't even realise. So when they start protesting, that's what connects yous, and that's what the people online will realise. That's what the people online will soon realise. I think we're actually connected to these people in the slums without even actually knowing it, because they're victims of theft in the exact same way that we are for donating our money. And then what's going to happen is you can then use your platforms to be calling out these corrupt charities. Why use jailing these people for calling out corrupt charities? That is not a criminal offence. Why are these people losing their lives for speaking the truth? And you can massively have so much power by making it public with these corrupt charities. And that's where it becomes a connected revolution, a connected revolution worldwide, when people would jump on the back of the people's revolution. That's exactly what they do. As soon as the revolution starts, that's exactly what they'll do. 100%. And yeah, that's the plan with Africa. In a few months, when I go back, once I've had my operation on my head here and had my bullet wound sorted out. So that's the plan. So that's why when people say, well, why do you want to do it? Why would I not want to do it? If I know I can save lives, why would I not want to do that? Come on. You can't be serious when you say, like when you go, wouldn't you just want to be sat around with your kids all day? Well, no, because my kids will know what their dad can achieve. Do you know what I mean? So why am I going to want to do that when I can change many lives? It makes no logical sense in my head why I would want to do that when we can change lives. If you just tuned in, this is the local newspaper in Sierra Leone. The UK newspapers don't post that save thousands of lives, but the Sierra Leone ones do. That's it. These kids were dying. These kids were dying in Africa, dying of drinking dirty sewage water. I come in and I showed on the spot, these charities, let me tell you the scam. These charities are telling you that it costs £40,000 to install fresh water in slum areas. I proved it can be done with £3,000. They're saying it costs 30 to 40,000. It's a lie. They are stealing your money. WaterAid said on their Twitter account, Sam Walker is not a charity, therefore he doesn't have overheads like us, so he can do it at a lot cheaper price. Sam Walker's not a charity. That's the first thing. We are a revolution. We are not a charity. We are a revolution against corrupt charities. That is what we are. We will never announce ourselves to be a charity, because that is not what we are. We do not put ourselves in the same bracket as a charity. We are a revolution. And this is the thing. They turn around 30 years in not more children need of this have been going on. Exactly. And but the people soon get pissed off. The governments are liars. The governments turn around and tell you people. The governments turn around to say to everyone, charities are allowed to take 90% as and then only pay 5%, 10%. What? So you trying to tell me that if you donate 100,000, that only £10 goes to the foundations, to the people in the slums? It doesn't. What they mean is that the 90% stays with the UK charities or the African charities, and then by the time the 10,000, the 10,000, from 100,000, by the time 10,000 gets down to the slums, you're talking nothing. They receive nothing. Do you know what they receive? Because everyone's sucked their little bit out, even further down the bottom. The fact that they're going to receive a few bottles of water, that's all they receive. They don't receive anything else. And that's where the corruption comes in. As I said, and I'll tell you what I'm going to have up very soon. I need to get a good website person. I'm going to get a website where people who work for corrupt charities, or you have in the past, and you have any evidence, or you can quietly, without anyone knowing, you can upload your evidence to this website, what I'm going to get made. You can upload it and you can be anonymous. And as long as it's evidence which proves that these charities are corrupt, right? Any evidence that you get, and names of the people involved. And if you've got evidence of these people who are involved, so we can bring convictions against them. Do you understand that we can get the first corrupt charity brought down in the sense of having them convicted for fraud? That will have a massive impact in the sense of moving it forward. That's my goal, to start bringing down corrupt charities, having them arrested for fraud. The moment you can have them arrested for fraud and jailed, it's a massive thing. It's a huge achievement. And that's the plan with the TPR, to not only to protest for the money to be handed down to them, but to have corrupt charities jailed, corrupt charity bosses jailed. We're not interested in the people at the bottom who want to take the blame for the fraud. We're talking about the people at the top. They're the ones that we want. So once I get this website made, people will be able to get evidence for me. We'll have a website where people can just upload it anonymously. Because I know there's people working in these charities who don't like the fraud, what's going on, by their bosses. There's so many people like that. But there's going to be a place where they're soon going to be able to download this evidence. They're going to be able to upload it to a certain website, what we're going to have. And I'll just have a few people working it out to see what's actually real, because there's going to be bullshit that goes in there as well, where people are going to be putting fake shit in there. We will just have to work out what's real and what's not. And then it's just a case of finding a lawyer who can bring some charges against these corrupt charities. They're going to try and kill me, 100%. I'm not stupid. There's going to be many more attempts on my life, but my life won't go, I'll probably be back in hospital at some point next year. I won't die, but I'll be injured again, 100%. I'm not stupid. Especially in Africa, they try to kill you, but that's what they try to do. We've got a loser there as well. This is what happens with these losers when you talk online, because they've never done anything in life. They come in and try and give abuse. I just block them then. But that's what happens. But we've got so much to do next year, only in a few months. I'm looking forward to it. And that's it, guys. But as I said, that's what gives me a reason to live, and it gives me a reason to have my daughters proud of me. Do you know what I mean? It's a real thing where I just think to myself, people are like, why don't you just be at home with your kids? It's like, well, because just like a soldier, if he goes to war, he disappears with his kids. I mean, away from his kids for weeks, doesn't he? Like, or months. Is that not the same sort of thing? I'm going to Africa to change lives and start a revolution. If this revolution turns off the way my mind, takes off the way my mind sees it, from what the universe, I believe, has given me what I see, it will be like no other revolution against corrupt charities. There's never been this alone. You will not see any people who've exposed corrupt charities, especially in Sierra Leone. You do not see that. We've already done that. That's not a revolution. That's just stating a point that we're willing to go to any level in order for people to survive. These little African kids, because regardless of whether these are our family, do you know what I mean? Like, these are literally, it doesn't matter whether you're black or white. These are little innocent kids, that are dying in these slums because of charities. And if I feel like I've got the ability to change that, then surely I'm obligated to do that. Do you know what I mean? Or at least try. And that's it. So that's the plan. That's it. I only think how much does it cost to send film crews exactly that, and they live in 5-star hotel. Fair play, lad. It really is. It's fine. Nice one, bro. But you get, as I said, I get a lot of weirdos online just chatting so much shit, just telling lies. But if you want to know the truth, just go and look at my videos or people's videos who follow me from my stuff in Africa, or like these news articles here in Africa. And that's it. Are you fit to travel after your horrific injury? No, I've got to have an operation on my head here to put bone back in, because there's no, as you see, my finger just goes deep in there. There's no bone here. That just goes straight into my brain. That's why you see a little swelling here still. So I've got to get this operation. I need to get an operation on my hand from a gun wound. But overall, I'll be able to travel in a few months once I've had my operation. Yes, and that's it. But right, on that note, guys, if you're not following, hit the follow button, and I will be back on live. Just realised it's 3:30. I'll be back on live tomorrow at, let's go 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Sorry, 12 in like 6 hours. It's 4:30 where I am. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12:30, we'll go 8 hours. 8 hours, guys, and then I'll be back on later on the night, about UK time, 10 p.m. And guys, just a quick one before I go. Remember what I say to you is, if you are feeling depressed or stressed out, don't think of it as like a weakness, because it's just a case of just keeping it moving, and you will get better. So remember that. And yeah, good night to everyone, and I hope you all have a good night's sleep, guys, and nice one to everyone in the live. The 700 of you in, so good night to all of you. Hit the follow button, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Good night to all of you. Someone just for saying, someone just banned my boyfriend for saying you're a god. Send his name. Go just inbox me. In fact, let me just see who just banned him first before. What's his name? Jammer. Let me just have a look at which mod blocked him. Let me just see. Blocked accounts. I can't see his name here, Let me just look. I'm just looking. I can't see the screen, guys. Just let you know. I'm just looking to see who's being blocked. can't see. Right, I'll have a look on my main account. Right, I'll have a little look. Inbox me the name and I'll have a look. Right, guys, good night to all of you, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. I couldn't even see the screen then, guys, because I was just looking to see if I could find out who were blocked. So good night to all of you guys, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. Speak to you soon.